Hello, I'm Yonden Lhatoo at the South China Morning Post. I must say it hurts to visit Singapore if your heart is in Hong Kong. I was there for a couple of days to attend an event that was originally supposed to be held here, but the organizer, a major multinational, changed the venue because of all the protest chaos that has pretty much destroyed our city's reputation. The contrast with Hong Kong was so acute, so in your face, that I couldn't help feeling downright envious and borderline resentful about Singapore and its shiny, happy people. All those law-abiding folks skipping along spick-and-span streets, business booming in every shopping center and street corner, uninterrupted commerce in gleaming office towers. I found it warm and welcoming there and, above all, so peaceful. After Singapore, our battle-scarred city looks more tattered and torn, more bent and broken than ever, and angry, always angry. I'm back now in the middle of mass hysteria and scenes of anarchy as unhinged protesters attacked the city's railway facilities over wild rumors online that police executed half a dozen citizens in an MTR station and got rid of the bodies in secret. Really? Just take a step back and process that. As utterly insane as it sounds, educated grown-up people actually believe this drivel, encouraged by certain scurrilous activist journalists spreading the word. It's the twilight zone out here. Is it even safe anymore in Hong Kong? Have you thought about leaving? I get asked frequently by friends and family members, alarmed by the daily news barrage of rampaging mobs throwing petrol bombs and vandalizing public property, brawls on trains and buses, fires burning on blocked roads, and police beating the stuffing out of masked youngsters. Without glossing over the nihilistic violence or playing down the social and economic carnage, I'm contemplating a standardized answer to questions about how safe it is in Hong Kong in the form of a video clip that a colleague came back with after covering a recent riot. It shows a middle-aged Caucasian man in Elvis impersonator-style clothes casually negotiating a road blockade while anti-government protesters are limbering up for another showdown with riot police. He cuts a quixotic figure in his glittering silver pants and cowboy boots, climbing over barricades and passing unmolested through the mob of black-clad protesters before disappearing towards the direction of some bars and restaurants. And that, I must say, is how safe Hong Kong is, in its own curious, unique way, for the average person on the streets. For all the ferocity of their attacks on police, even hardcore protesters will generally leave civilians, especially tourists, alone, unless you get into a fight with them over finding your way blocked or your peace disturbed. You'll even see some of them hurriedly helping a frail granny to safety before all hell breaks loose. Similarly, police issue multiple warnings before they fire tear gas or charge at protesters, mostly for the benefit of rubbernecking spectators who can be injured amid the chaos of an anti-riot operation. The number of curious bystanders and passers-by watching these standoffs and showdowns from pavements and footbridges is, in itself, testament to how seemingly apocalyptic television footage does not necessarily reflect the reality on the ground. It's common to see people shopping, dining, or just loitering in the middle of a riot. Of course, it can get tricky and dangerous for innocent commuters when police storm into MTR stations to chase after protesters who take off their masks and change out of their signature black clothing to mingle with the crowds. It's also worth noting that the extreme vandalism that masked youngsters are perpetrating at MTR stations is getting out of hand. And yes, there are no guarantees when it comes to traffic and travel disruptions, which can erupt at any moment, anywhere, leaving you stranded. But Hong Kong has something else. It has a soul, a Singaporean friend pointed out when I spoke of the painful contrast with the Lion City. Yes, a soul worth saving and a heart to match. That's why, at the end of the day, in spite of everything, against all odds, I'll say it's still strangely safe to be in Hong Kong.